Hi, everyone. A very rare storm system is headed for the United States. A very rare storm system is expected to impact the United States over the next few days, bringing the threat of a tornado outbreak on Friday and Saturday from the Great Plains through the East Coast. In addition to the tornado threat, there is a significant fire risk tomorrow in the central and southern plains, where wind gusts could reach as high as 80 mphs. Why in the world? In today's forecast, we'll break down exactly what you need to know about this major storm system and why it's becoming more and more concerning. Current conditions across the country. We'll begin with what's happening across the country today. A storm system is currently moving across the lower Mississippi Valley this morning after producing a few severe storms in Arkansas and Texas last night. There were reports of quarter-size hail just outside of Little Rock. This system will continue moving east and could bring a low-end risk of severe weather this afternoon and evening, especially in southern Mississippi and Alabama. Damaging winds and an isolated tornado are possible in these areas. However, the bigger story is the powerful storm currently on the West Coast. This system is expected to intensify and could become one of the most powerful storm systems of the year as it moves into the Great Plains tomorrow, bringing high winds and a severe weather outbreak. Severe weather forecast Friday to Sunday. Friday's flying fences. Friday tomorrow, we have a moderate risk of severe weather in place across most of Illinois, eastern Missouri, parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and into Iowa. This includes the potential for widespread damaging winds. An enhanced risk of severe weather extends from the lower Mississippi Valley into central Iowa, while a marginal and slight risk stretches into Minnesota and Louisiana. The main threat tomorrow will be significant damaging winds. Winds between 60 to 90 mph are possible, especially late tomorrow afternoon and into the evening as a line of thunderstorms develops over central, northern, and eastern Missouri. This line is expected to expand into the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. There's also a chance of storms further south, but a lack of moisture and a capping inversion could limit storm development initially. However, storms are still expected to fire up in the evening hours. The highest risk areas for severe weather tomorrow include St. Louis, southeast Iowa, and northern Mississippi. Large hail, possibly as big as baseballs, could occur tomorrow afternoon and into the early evening hours. The tornado risk tomorrow is also concerning. A large 10% hatched region covers areas from southeast Iowa through Alabama and Mississippi, where a few strong tornadoes will be possible from around 5 p.m. into the early overnight hours. Tornadoes could also develop as far north as southeast Minnesota and along the Gulf Coast. Be prepared. Make sure you have a tornado action plan and multiple ways to receive alerts. Saturday, major severe weather threat in Dixie Alley. On Saturday, the severe weather threat shifts to the southeast. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a moderate risk, 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale for parts of eastern Louisiana, central and southern Mississippi, and central and southern Alabama. The threat on Saturday includes damaging winds, large hail, several tornadoes, including long-track tornadoes. The tornado risk will be significant across Dixie Alley. Even areas outside the moderate risk zone in the enhanced and slight risk zones could still experience strong or long-track tornadoes. If you're in Dixie Alley, take this seriously. Whether you're in the moderate, enhanced, or slight risk zone, there is a significant severe weather threat. Additional notes. For those in the Ohio Valley, the main threat will be damaging winds and isolated hail on Saturday. The tornado risk is lower in this region, but you should still remain weather aware. Stay updated, make sure you have a plan in place and multiple ways to receive weather alerts. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you'll be notified when we go live with in-depth coverage tomorrow afternoon and evening. Severe weather threat increasing across the central U.S. A significant severe weather event is developing with an increasing threat for tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail over the next 72 hours. Let's break down the latest details, including timing, impacts, and areas most at risk. Friday, tornado threat increasing in Missouri and Iowa. Severe weather is expected to ramp up Friday afternoon, starting in central Missouri and extending into Iowa. The environment will be favorable for tornadoes, but initially they will likely be embedded within a line of thunderstorms, producing widespread wind damage across Missouri, Iowa, and eventually into Illinois. Later in the afternoon and into the evening hours, storms could begin to develop to the south of the main line. If discrete supercells form, the risk for strong tornadoes will increase significantly. This is a major concern and will require close monitoring. However, Friday's tornado risk remains somewhat conditional. There will need to be enough forcing along the Mississippi River Valley for storms to develop. If storms do form, they could persist well into the night with a favorable tornado environment even around or after midnight. Key concern: tornadoes could remain a threat into the early morning hours Saturday in western Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. Nocturnal tornadoes are particularly dangerous since they are harder to detect and respond to at night. Timing for severe weather on Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Storms begin to develop in central Missouri, 6 p.m. Damaging winds increase as thunderstorms organize into a bowing segment. 0 p.m. Watch for discrete supercells developing south of the main line. After midnight, storms weaken as they move into the Ohio Valley, but could still produce damaging winds and isolated tornadoes. Main threats: damaging winds, 60 to 90 degrees in the line of storms, potential for strong tornadoes from discrete supercells Saturday. Tornado outbreak likely in Dixie Alley Saturday is shaping up to be one of the most dangerous severe weather days of the year. A strong low-level jet will create an environment extremely favorable for tornadoes across eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and western Georgia. The tornado threat will be elevated between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. across Dixie Alley. If discrete supercells form during the afternoon, the risk for long track and strong tornadoes will increase dramatically. Significant tornado parameter (STP) values will be very high between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. in Mississippi, suggesting that any supercell that forms could produce a large and destructive tornado. Main concerns for Saturday: strong to violent tornadoes, large hail up to baseball-sized damaging winds, 70 to 90 mph. Tornadoes could track for long distance. Be prepared. If you live in a mobile home, make sure you have access to a sturdy shelter before storms arrive. Have multiple ways to receive alerts, including weather radios and phone notifications. Be prepared to take action immediately if a tornado warning is issued. Fire weather risk also increasing. In addition to the severe weather threat, a critical to extreme fire danger is expected tomorrow in the southern plains. Strong winds behind the low-pressure system could gust up to 70-80 miles across Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. Contributing factors: extremely low humidity, strong winds, dry vegetation, fire risk areas. Critical fire weather from Nebraska to West Texas, extreme fire weather in Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. A fire outbreak is possible if any ignition occurs. Avoid any outdoor burning and report any smoke or fire immediately. Sunday, severe weather shifts east. By Sunday, the severe weather threat will shift east into the Ohio Valley and parts of the Mid-Atlantic. The main concerns will be damaging winds and isolated tornadoes. Severe weather outlook: damaging winds, tornadoes, and widespread storms. Expected: a significant severe weather event is developing with the potential for damaging winds, tornadoes, and a powerful derecho over the next 72 hours. Let's go through the latest details, including the timing, storm intensity, and areas most at risk. Friday, strong winds and derecho potential. Damaging wind gusts between 50 to 60 mph are expected across much of the Midwest and Ohio Valley throughout the early afternoon on Friday. Once the cap on the eastern side of the storm breaks, the system will transition to a negative tilt, creating the potential for a fast-moving. The strongest wind gusts, up to 50 to 60 miles, are likely in Illinois and Indiana through the evening hours. The storm will hold together as it tracks across Tennessee and Kentucky overnight and into the early morning hours on Saturday before it begins to weaken. I'll be back tomorrow with a new update. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment. See you.